Horatio Franco of H&R Underground started in the residential plumbing sector, but a trip to the Pumper Show nearly 2 decades ago led him down a different path.
The Pumper Show, what is called the wood show right now. So I went in thinking about it was going to be about plumbing. When I arrived, it's like, man, this is nothing about plumbing. It's bigger than plumbing. So
Horatio is now a full-service underground expert serving the greater San Francisco area. Hey, thanks for joining us, Horatio. I know that you're out in, you're kind of in the San Francisco Bay Area.
That's right. We are 5 miles north from Berkeley. Yeah.
You've been doing this for a long time. I think you started probably at least 2 decades ago. You started, did you start as kind of in the plumbing arena to begin with?
We started residential plumbing. That was about 21 years ago. Yeah.
So 20 years ago, you started in the residential plumbing side. Was that your business then, or were you working for someone else?
I was working for somebody else before we opened our company. So working with somebody else.
When you opened your company, did you open your company 20 years ago?
Yes.
So you opened H&R 20 years ago, but were you always, right now your primary business focus is kind of like in the underground, the pipe relining, the infrastructure side of things. Were 20 years ago, was that what you were doing?
No, when we start just strictly residential work, just plumbing, then moved to pipe bursting in pipe lining, residential still. And then probably, I believe it was 2008, 2009, we started shifting a little bit more into what we do today, underground work.
Well, you recognized if you were doing that in 08, 09 already, I would call that pretty early on. A lot of people have been slow to this game. So the fact that you recognized already, 15, 16, 17 years ago that this was the direction things should be heading, I think that was what made you recognize that this was kind of, you're in an area where probably it's hard to dig.
Well, it's not that I did recognize. So I took, I was trying to get, when I started in plumbing, I was just fresh out of college. So I want to be educated more in plumbing and other aspects, not just doing what the rest of the people were doing, right? So I saw a show that was going to happen, and it was the Pumper Show, what is called the wood show right now. So I went in thinking about it was going to be about plumbing. When I arrived, it's like, man, this is nothing about plumbing. It's bigger than plumbing. So got hooked up in one of the classes that I attended. It was a manhole rehab, and I got hooked up in manhole rehab, and started getting more equipment and more things, and that's how we started the underground work, the other side of the
And I would think in the area you're in, because there's such a heavy population, that work was probably out there right off the bat. It probably wasn't real hard to find.
Well, it was this always work, right? But it was going in this new industry with not that many experience, and now instead of working with the homeowners, so now I have to work with engineers and city and general contractors. So it was totally different. It was something that I didn't have experience, and I didn't know how to do it. So it was a little bit different from what I was used to do.
Now, most of those companies who provide those types of who provide those things to service companies like you, they train them. But back then, were you still able to get training from the manufacturer on like the manhole rehab, the pipe bursting, or was it kind of like, here's the system, good luck and figure it out?
No, we got when we got the manhole rehab, we got trained and certified by the manufacturer.
Who were you using, Avanti or who?
No, for the manhole rehab, we're using a Mayville products. Mayville Corporation consists of a microsilica motor and epoxy. So when we start doing business with them, they build equipment. So they train us on how to use equipment, how to fix it. They train us how to rehab the manhole. That goes anywhere from prepping the manhole, identifying issues with the manhole, addressing each issue on the manhole, and rehabbing it. So
what about like even the pricing? How are you figuring out, like, how are you estimating and deciding what to charge?
Yeah, well, at the beginning it was I mean, I didn't have no clue, right? Like what we charge and how do this gets priced. So um, back then, Maywell had a salesperson. That was Steve Hallam. So he was my mentor in many ways. So he he talked to me about like, okay, in this other part of the country, this is more or less what they charge. So few he gave me few samples of how the people were charging, and then but then we calculated what it's gonna cost to get the products here and get the how long it was gonna take me to do it. Man. So we kind of figure out the pricing sheet, if you will. So yeah, but
But early on, it was a challenge, obviously.
it was totally new. So when I went when I was searching for a manhole, so I visited three different companies. I searched like nine and decided to visit three. So I went to Iowa, Philadelphia, and Georgia, and talked to the reps, right? So um, I didn't know much about a manhole. So the only times that I will open a manhole probably was because if I was going to work on a sewer lateral, I didn't know how deep was the main line to dig up and do a pipe burst to replace it. So I will open a manhole and see how deep was the main line. Never paid attention to the manhole, never saw issues or not issues on the manhole. So I was totally naive about manholes.
So how big is your company back when you started this? You know, how many employees did you have then?
Back then we had actually it's kind of funny. It's about the same size. The only thing back then we were running 8 trucks doing residential plumbing every day, and we got I believe like 5 secretaries in the office and a bookkeeper. So things changed. So yeah, that's how big we were back then.
So similar size, but what does the transformation look like then? How long does it take to transform from being a residential plumbing company into now? Are you 100% just underground?
Yes, we are. So about 2 years ago, we closed the residential side of the business. That was another thing. I never thought that I was going to close the residential side of the business. I thought, well, if a plumbing brought me to where I am, so I'm going to keep the plumbing. But 2 years ago, we decided, you know what, this is I was not the person. I was not getting. I was not as focused as I wanted to be with the residential side. I was focused on the underground, dealing with the engineers, dealing with general contractors. So it took a lot of my time.
Well, what makes you what does that look like? What leads you to get out of the plumbing? Is it just something that you enjoyed more? Was it more profitable? Was it all of those things? More work?
It's a different work. Like I said, dealing back then, I was dealing mainly residential homeowners. I was dealing with a lot of real estate agents. So I used to go and train them. They didn't know what was a clean out looks like or a sewer lateral looks like. A lot of the realtors. So I was going to do a presentation for them when they shift to where I am. So I do presentations about manhole rehab. I get to meet with the engineers. I get to meet general contractors. So it is different customers that we have right now. We're still doing the same thing. We're trying to educate about what we do, about what can be done on the issues they may have.
I guess my question is more from the business standpoint, though. You know, is it just naturally happened? Or you made a conscientious decision, you know, like this is where the money is, or this is where the work is, or this is what I like doing better.
Yeah, it was not natural. No, it wasn't. But it was more the type of work that we're doing. It is probably money wise might be better doing what I do right now than doing the plumbing. Different projects every day, different issues every day. Yes.
What about from just a like finding an employee standpoint? I would assume in California, like other states, the plumbers have to be licensed. There really isn't any licensing involved around the rehab, is there?
Well, with with the plumbers, most of the plumbers we train in house, right? So we start from apprentice and we make it all the way to master plumber. So it was just like an in-house. Same thing what we're doing right now. It's a lot of training involved. So we get trained and certified on the manhole rehab. So Maywell does a training every year for us, certification every year. That's a lot of the training. So now we have to be in confined space every day. So we got to train the guys in confined space. We got to train the guys on a gas monitor. So it's a lot of more training involved.
A lot more safety related training than there ever was with plumbing, I'm sure.
Yes, it is. Every single day. I mean, it's like every single day we get in confined space. Every day we climb up on the ladders or stuff. So yes, it's a lot of more training. So we have to keep up with that every day, every year, certify every single employee, making sure that they're following the guidelines.
Sure. I would imagine marketing your business right now would have to be a little more difficult than it was when you were plumbing, because it's such a different audience. You're going after municipalities and commercial contractors versus just trying to get the phone to ring from a person who has a plumbing problem, as opposed to the types of jobs you're doing now. Is that more difficult, or is it kind of the same but different?
It is a little bit more difficult. It's a totally different approach. For marketing, we do a lot of trade shows. So I do probably about anywhere from 10 to 12 shows a year. Like we have a CWA in California. So when they have an event where they're gonna have some event, so we go in as a vendor. So we got our booth. So we go down there. We use we follow the jobs that when the city has a job they advertise. So we're looking for those jobs and looking for the work.
It's a little bit more actively and proactively looking for work versus waiting for the work to come to you.
Oh, it's more active. I mean, we're looking every day. We're bidding every day. So we're getting in contact with city engineers. We're getting in contact with general contractors on a daily basis. Yes.
As far as over like the last 10 or 15 years, do you feel like the market is becoming more and more competitive in your area in the underground, or is like a lot of people are kind of catching on, or?
Yes, there's always competition. There's always other companies doing what we do. There's other products applying the products for a manhole rehab. So yeah, there's more companies right now that build the products for the manhole rehab. So yeah, there's more competition. Yeah,
I would think where you are though, there's probably no shortage of work. You know, I
think we've been blessed. I mean, we work all year long, and we always get jobs. We're always busy. So, but it's a constant looking for work, bidding works, finding jobs, educating people. Yeah. So
10 years ago, we'll call it 10 years ago, when you were doing residential plumbing and then you kind of migrated into this underground, do you think 10 years from now you'll still be doing underground, or do you think that the business has to keep progressing in different directions and there might be something else? Like you're not doing any mainline inspection or things like that right now. Is that something you've considered or not really?
No, actually we have a CCTV equipment. So we do right now, as we speak, we have a project, Cedar Berkeley. We are televising and testing the main line. So there's something that we do. We do cleaning and televising as well. Okay,
so you are doing TV inspection and things like that. Where do you want the company to be 5-10 years from now?
Right now we cover the whole state of California, right? So we don't have a lot of presence in down south, like LA area. And it's always something that I always wanted to do, like probably branch off to LA. Probably that will be my goal for the next year, is to branch off and have another branch, another office in LA area, so we can cover the rest of the state. Right now we cover the whole state, but we don't have presence in LA area, if you will.
Looking back at the last 10 years and changing from residential plumbing into the more of the underground and the CCTV and things like that, what was the most important thing you learned? Was there anything that stands out as like, boy, I wish I had known this before I jumped into it?
A lot, because like I said, when I switched from residential to this, I was naive in so many ways. So we bought the first CCTV equipment, right, for main lines. Back then, we still were recording in VHS, right? So I didn't know about software. So the first project that we did, we saved everything in VHS. We give it to the owner. Actually, I take it back. There was CDs now by then. It was a little bit. So we give all the projects, all the videos on the CDs to the city. They were really happy about it, but I didn't know nothing about the software. I didn't know nothing about NASCO PACP certification. So it was, I look back and I was like, man, it's like shame on me. Nothing. So thanks God, the city was really happy. I mean, they were excited. They can see the pipe. They can see that I can paint and till and check every single connection. So they were excited, but it's like, let's say I find out a leaking joint. There's no way for us to find out leaky joint unless we review all the footage that I did and every single video. So yeah, it was naive on my part, and I look back and I say, man, shame on me. I didn't know much about it.
Yeah, but you got through it, and that's starting any business. You just sometimes just don't know.
Yeah.
And obviously you got through it, and that's one of the learning experiences. What is this business? We kind of said, where do you see this business 10 years? And you said you want to expand into LA. Are you building this business to eventually, hopefully, sell someday, or are you kind of building it for succession? Do you have somebody else in mind, or what's the plan there?
Yeah, I haven't, I enjoy what I do, and I don't feel anything. I mean, I'm not as young as used to be, but I enjoy it. I want to be here. My son is an engineer. He graduated and went and worked with a big company a couple of years, and he joined us 9-10 months ago. So hopefully pass it on to him. Yeah. So
working with family sometimes presents its own challenges, or don't have any obstacles there?
I've been working with my wife. My wife and I will build this thing, right? So I've been working with her since we started. It hasn't been an issue. It's a joy to have somebody you trust and somebody that sees your vision and give you support. My wife, she's been there for me all the time. My wife has been here and she helped me make where we are right now.
100%. That is the great part of it, is that you definitely know who you can trust. The bad part of it is it's sometimes hard to leave work at work.
Well, at the beginning, to be honest, I was kind of, when she told me, okay, when the kids start going to school, say, well, I have more time, I can help you. And I was like excited, but at the same token, it's going to be like, man, it's going to be difficult because now we're going to be working all day and then go home and but we make an agreement. Okay, we don't take the stuff home, and we don't bring stuff from home to work. So, and it's been working for us. So it's been good.
If I'm thinking about getting into this business and I'm not in your competition area, what advice would you have for me if I'm just getting started?
If I was looking at me doing the same thing, educate yourself. I mean, and one of the things that I do now, every time that I go to West Show, I'll go the first day, take all the classes that I can, get education, get educated right here. So that was probably something that when I started doing this, but I wanted to be educated, not only learn how to fix a leak or how to unclog a toilet. I want to also get educated because, to be honest, when I started doing plumbing, I was the same thing. Like I did open the faucet, water gets in, wash my hands, flush the toilet, stuff leaves, and that's the only thing that I knew about plumbing, right? So eventually, when I started working, I said, man, I need to know more about it. So I would say education about how this works and why it works and how how was the whole picture. That really helps me.
You can learn more about Horatio and H&R Underground out of California at hendrplumbing.com. Please remember to like and subscribe to this podcast to keep more great content coming.